If you're somebody that ever struggles with understanding and maybe knowing what to do best for your body type and maybe your schedule, maybe your lifestyle, let's say if you're traveling and you're just like, man, I still want to get really good results. I want to lose fat, I want to build muscle, but I'm taking away from my normal routine. I'm taking away from my gym. This video is really going to help you out. So recently, I just got back home from a trip to Colorado. I was there for about 11 days. And the previous time when I was over there was probably about 8 months ago. Now, normally, whenever I go to Colorado, I'm visiting family. I'm typically either signing up for Planet Fitness for a week or trying one of their garage gyms, something like that, where it's like 10, 15 bucks. You hop in there for a day, you get a good workout in. And don't get me wrong, like Planet Fitness is a great gym. Those garage gyms, they're good too. But, and I can't say too much about this because it's underneath the NDA and I can't really say anything until the show airs. Long story short, a few months ago, I was on a TV show, and in the midst of that TV show, I was paired up with some of the coolest athletic people in the world. And you guys will find out more about that. But anyways, there was this one time where there was like 200 of us. We were all in this big, huge hotel open area. And all we had was pretty much just like chairs, and that's it. Like, there's nothing that you can do. And some of the people that were there were like street workout people, right? Calisthenics. They would do just like street workouts, like parkour. There was even some people from American Ninja Warrior, just really cool, right? Different types of athleticism. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this with you, and this has everything to do with what's going to happen with when I went to Colorado and how I stayed in shape. And in fact, probably got better results, not even training as hard. So if that's something that you want to learn more about, stay tuned. Because like I said, this is really going to help you out with the right mindset when it comes to training and working out your body properly, okay? So going back, right? Me and all these competitors, right? All these different people from the United States, the world, I should say, right? We had strongman competitors, powerlifters, bodybuilders, American Ninja Warrior people, calisthenics, street workouts, MMA fighters like myself that was on the show, right? Like all these different types of people. It was so unique, so cool. Anyways, it was raining, so we had to stop the production until it stopped raining pretty much. So we're sitting in this room for like 2-3 hours. And it was just so cool watching everybody. But what was so interesting that really caught my attention was the calisthenics, the gymnastics, and like the street workout athletes. They all came together and they were like putting the chairs together. They're doing like dips. They're doing handstands on the chairs. They're doing handstand push-ups, one-arm handstands. I was blown away with just the amount of athleticism that these individuals had. And so what it did was really just spark a curiosity within me, where I was like, you know what? I was like, I always normally stick to my routine because I like it, and obviously it works. And I tell everybody this, and this is something good for you to understand too. If you find out what works for you, stick with it, right? Like if you're getting good results, you don't need to change things up. And like that was me. Like I always got good results because I like to formulate my workouts as almost like a hybrid approach, where it's like strength, right? Where I'm lifting the weights, I'm focusing on progressive overload, but also a lot of like the athleticism. I'm doing some running, doing some high intensity stuff, different things like that, right? Ever since I did a high rocks tournament, it kind of like changed my mindset when it comes down to, training and working out. Where I was like, hey, I don't want to be just the guy lifting weights. I want to be able to utilize my body. So when I'm seeing all these, guys and girls doing the handstands and all this stuff, it blowing my mind. So fast forward now, right, to Colorado, and I get there to my uncle's house. We go to Walmart, and I'm like, you know what? I was like, I could either buy a 35-pound dumbbell, which cost me like 35 bucks, right? Or I could just go to Planet Fitness, do the same old, the gym workouts, same old. It's like, let's just do something different. So that's what I did. I bought one 35-pound dumbbell, not two, just one, focusing on just different explosive movements, rows, shoulder presses, Bulgarian split squats. Like you can do a lot with a single dumbbell. So that's the first key thing that I want you to understand, is you don't need this big, huge gym to get great results. In fact, I posted on my Instagram with me working out with one dumbbell, and literally, like I got in great shape from it, So Obviously, a lot of that has to do with nutrition. Like, let's be real here, okay? 80 to 90% of the results all has to do with nutrition. But what I'm saying is that you don't need a gym in order to get good results. In fact, you don't even need one dumbbell to get good results. You can just use your own body weight. And that was one of the things I was using as well. I would literally just go run to the playground, right? You got the monkey bars, you got the pull-up bars, and I'm just doing pull-ups, doing different dips, practicing a lot of different handstands as well when I was there at my uncle's house in Colorado. And I fell in love, right? And this is like one of the second things I want you to understand is fall in love with using your body. Fall in love with being an athlete. And I think that's the main purpose of Heartletics, right? Heartletics, right? Heartletics. That's my business. I started back in 2017, helping men and women lose fat, build muscle, learning just how to create sustainable habits for their lifestyle. I'm sure you heard this phrase before, right? You can either give a man a fish, feed him for a day, or you can teach a man how to fish and feed him for the rest of his life. And so I want you to fall in love with your own body, right? Your heart, right? But learning how to become an athlete with your body and not pigeonholing yourself, saying, oh, I need to go to this gym. I need to do this workout. I need to follow this routine. Like, treat the world as your playground. Treat the world as your gym. Whether you have equipment or not, have fun with it. And I think that's the best part about health and fitness is learning how to fall in love with your body, learning how to get creative, learning how to just push yourself, even if it's something completely different from what you're used to, And so in the midst of, and this is like the highlight that I want to talk about next, in the midst of, the travels in Colorado and doing these different workouts and focusing on like explosive movements, handstand push-ups with my feet up against the wall, the single, dumbbell and all that stuff, I decided to go ahead and do the Colorado Incline. Now, the Colorado Incline is over in Colorado Springs. I think it's called Mantua, something like that. I can't pronounce it the best. But anyways, it's over in Colorado Springs next to Garden of the Gods, which is beautiful. Me, my wife, our son, our friends that came with us on the trip, we got to experience these amazing mountains from God. It was just completely beautiful. But as we were leaving, right, like I was begging my wife, she's like, it's going to take you hours to do the incline. Like, we're hungry. We want to go home. I was like, no. I'll complete it within an hour. Just trust me on this one, because I was prepared. The last time I did the incline, it literally took me over an hour just to make it uphill. And I'll talk about the incline here in a second. And I highly recommend that you guys look it up for yourself. And also, if you're ever in Colorado Springs, give it a try. Like, it is crazy. I'll just say it like that. And I posted the whole entire thing on my YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. You guys can watch the video of itself. It's pretty inspiring, actually. But I'm begging my wife. I'm like, hey, let's just go down there, right? I'm going to complete it, okay? I'll be fine with it. I'll complete it within an hour. And the last time I did it, it's probably about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. And it took me well over an hour just to get to the very top. Now, here's the thing. I live in Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, we're like down here with like the altitude, right? The sea level and whatnot. Colorado is like all the way up here. And then Colorado Springs is like all the way up here. Completely different. So here's the incline, right? You start at the bottom. And pretty much it's like 2,800 steps. These like railroad, like wood pieces, like tracks going 1 mile uphill. Like, not like this, literally steep, right? So you're lunging pretty much, right? And there's times where I'm like literally like reaching on, right? As I'm climbing with my hands, walking forward, right? Like, that's how steep it is. But it's 1 mile uphill, 2,800 steps. And with the altitude and me being from Cleveland, oh my gosh, it is hard. But anyways, my wife drops me off. It starts raining. I'm like, yes, let's go. My mindset instantly switches, right? Competitor mode, me against me, that's it, right? Like, boom, just start going up the hill. Anyways, I was so focused, right? But more so, and this is like the third thing. I'm not telling you guys these little tips just to brag or boast. I'm telling you guys these little tips as you can gain them for inspiration. For yourself, for your own health and fitness journey, okay? As I'm doing the incline, as I'm walking up these hills, as my legs are just, it's like the hardest leg day there is, I swear. As my legs are just throbbing in pain, I'm huffing and puffing because of the high altitude, right? I fall in love with the pain. I fall in love with it because I'm like, you know what? Most people are going to quit at this point right now. I'm going to keep on going. And that's the third thing I want you to remember, right? So if you think about all this, right? It's that, hey, The world is your oyster. Don't get pigeonholed into one certain workout routine and fall in love with it and says, hey, this is the end all be all. I know so many people do that with like the keto cults, right? And the fasting diets where it's just like, it's the end all be all. If you eat a carbohydrate, you're going to hell. And if you break your fast before 11 a.m., right, you're like doomed for hell. You're like, you're going to gain a bunch of body fat. I hate people like that with a passion because I used to be like that, right? And that's the wrong mindset that you want to have with health and fitness. Everybody's body type is completely different, right? To each its own. That's the first thing I want you to understand. Second is fall in love with your body, right? Heartletics, right? Use your heart, right? And just fall in love with your body and become an athlete. You can, like, there's so many different athletes that's out there. As I mentioned, when I was on this TV show, like, I got to experience all of them, literally. So it's just like, fall in love with who you are and who you're becoming in that process of becoming an athlete, pushing yourself. You know, the world is your oyster. The world is your playground. Have fun with it. And the last thing is, there's no competition besides you. And the man or woman that you see staring back in the mirror every single day, that is the only competitor that's out there. So as I'm pushing myself up the hill, pushing myself nonstop, right? I'm grinding. I finally get to the top. And you know what? I got to the top and everybody was like, dude, what was your time? I was like, I don't even know. I wasn't even keeping track. But luckily, I posted on my Instagram story that I was, climbing up the hill. And so when I would look back at the top, it said 29 minutes ago is when I first made the post when I was at the bottom. I completed that incline in sub 30 minutes, which is insane because the last time I did it several years ago, it took me over, like I said, like an hour climbing up and then there's 3 miles on the way down. It was a long, long day. Just leave it at that. Climbing up the hill, went back down, did it all within an hour, My wife was happy. She got to pick me up. Actually, she didn't even pick me up from the bottom. She was at a restaurant with everybody, my son and the friends, and I ran a mile to them after I did the incline. And they're like, how are you alive right now? How are you even doing this? And it's all about just falling in love with who you are. Fall in love with the process, fall in love with the grind, fall in love with the dedication, and believing in yourself that, you know what? Times are going to get tough. Like, climbing up that hill is no easy joke, but you can look at it as a challenge or an opportunity. And most people, why they never have success on their health and fitness journey or going after their goals in life, they view things as challenges, they get scared, they run the other direction. When you start looking at things as an opportunity, you start looking at it as a growth. Hey, how can I do this? You start asking yourself that question. Instead of looking at the big Goliath, right? No, you're focusing on God. You're focusing on the opportunity. You're focused on overcoming that challenge. That's the mindset that you need to have, So to summarize all this, okay, here's my tips for you. I'm not saying you need to be a health and fitness nut. I'm not saying you need to, start doing handstand push-ups and climbing up mountains like what I was doing. No, but all I'm saying is that you have one opportunity here on earth, right? One life, one body. And if you take care of your body, you're going to live a long, healthy life. That's for starters. But second, what can you do with your body? What can you do with your life to leave an inspiration, to leave a legacy, to help others, right? To inspire them and motivate them. Stop thinking of yourself as being so small, right? And that you don't have a voice or you don't have the charisma or you don't have the right character. Stop. That's the bad wolf. That's the negativity. Believe in yourself. And I promise you this, if you establish that mindset, you can overcome anything. And that's exactly why with our coaching members at Heartletics, and if you guys want more information about that, you can just click on the link down below. If you're watching this on YouTube, free training guide going over, what our coaching programs all entail, what it's all about, and how you can benefit from losing fat and building muscle with learning what works best for your body type, your busy schedule, and your lifestyle to create sustainable habits. But that mindset, that's the foundation. That's before the nutrition. That's before the recovery. That's before the training. You gotta have the right mindset. You gotta believe in yourself. And all it takes is you stepping outside of your comfort zone, making a small win, building up momentum here after here after here. That's it. Small step day after day. And I promise you, if you can continue to do that for the next 30, 60, 90 days, maybe 6 months, maybe 12 months, your life would be completely changed, mentally and physically. So I really hope you gained some inspiration. If you did, hey, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, like and subscribe if you haven't already to my YouTube channel. And as always, guys, this has been Coach Joe with Heartletics.com, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Peace out, Girl Scouts.